All right, so the Buffalo Bills really struggled to get a lot going offensively against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And, what is the reason for it? You know me, I do believe pass rush is overrated. And I should mention, by the way, just real quick, is that if you only watch that one video and think that that data was not enough to support my argument, there's a lot of other data on that. And I should have mentioned that at the beginning of that video. I think that's why it's, got crushed in the likes to dislike, among other things. And just being negative about a Steelers player, it's gonna be at best 75% likes. That's just the nature of the business. But, I've ran multiple studies that suggest edge is overrated. Pro Football Focus and SB Nation have also ran their own individual studies that have suggested it. So I'm not just taking it out of nowhere. But anyways, just because I think it's overrated doesn't mean it doesn't matter. And I thought that this was a complete defensive performance entirely by the Steelers. I think they all deserve credit. So, again, I know I'm going to get comments of people who are really mad at that. I lost a ton of subscribers for that stuff, it's frustrating, but it is what it is. Again, part of the business. I can take criticism a lot better than most people, I think, although it is frustrating constantly getting hate comments and, Twitter trolls, even though some of them are just people being, respectfully disagreeing. A lot aren't, no. Most aren't, in fact. So, anyways, whatever. It's something that's been frustrating for me for these past few days, so that's why I'm talking about it. Let's get into the film study and talk about more fun stuff, what actually happened with the Steelers and with the Bills. So we'll start off with this play. This is a great example of really how I view football in today's NFL. Is what matters is coverage first and then pass rush. Pass rush matters, it just matters second. And this is the perfect example of exactly what I mean, because it's man coverage, and so, can anyone just win a matchup in a one-on-one setting? Will it be able to happen? And watch Josh Allen and how many different reads he's going to have here. So first, he takes a snap. He's going to look to his right. And maybe he's just doing this to look off other defenders. But, he does look off to his right. I doubt he's looking anybody off, given the fact that it's man coverage. And he just doesn't like what he sees. For whatever reason, this is not what he wants to throw to, so he's going to continue to look somewhere else. So look, he goes to his left now. He's looking at the player who's currently off screen right now. There's another Buffalo player who's in the flat, right around a 20, the numbers there. So Allen is looking off screen, and that's where he's currently looking. Then he shifts over to the player in the flat. So he's going off to his third read now at this point. So that's where he is. He's doing a good job of going through his progressions, but that's getting covered up well, as you can see on the screen. Finally, he throws it back over to what, was his initial second read. That ball got tipped away. So the pass rush came in, and that's exactly what I mean. I never said it doesn't matter. Basically, I think most people like to say that when you have bad coverage, pass rush can make up for the bad coverage. I don't believe that, but I do believe if you have good coverage, pass rush can make your team even better. That I strongly do believe, and that's what the Steelers have. So at the end of the day, I give credit to the coverage, you give credit to the pass rushers. We both think the Steelers defense is good. Who really cares? Now, I want to talk about something like this. Listen, it's not just a Steelers video. I have a beef with the entire Steelers fan base, it seems like, even though I literally think TJ Watt is the best edge rusher in the NFL. But again, besides the point, we're talking about the Bills here. I thought Allen did legitimately miss a couple throws. That is something that happened. This one was a huge one, I thought, which it's 2nd and 14. And I can't even really tell what coverage this is. I believe it's zone coverage, but I just can't tell because there's no all-22. And, I don't know when all-22 is back, so we're stuck with this for now. And watch how right when this play starts. So Allen takes the snap. He is going to fire a deep shot. And, there's a receiver who is completely wide open on this play. So this is one that Allen does have to make. And there were a couple plays like this where receivers did get open. Really, it was this play. I mean, this was the big one where if you make this throw, that's an extra touchdown. That's just a big difference. And Allen missed it. So, I would say that Pittsburgh got a little lucky with, there was a couple of breaks on a play like that where, receiver did get open, Allen just missed the throw. Also something like this where what's going to happen on this play is it's a 3rd down and 14 right here. So that's the situation. You definitely expect to be able to, you expect to stop him right here, and watch what's going to happen. So on this play, it's zone coverage, quarters coverage, Cole Beasley running over the middle. There will eventually be a gap that Josh Allen can make this throw, but it's going to take a little bit of time to develop. And as you see on this play, which there were plenty of plays like this where Allen had plenty of time to throw, that was over or just under 5 seconds, Cole Beasley does get open on this play. A lot of times it didn't happen. And this was another aspect that did happen in this game, was there was some dropped passes. Look, Cole Beasley just, he doesn't hang on right there and drops the ball. That's unfortunate. You got to make those catches. For the Bills, I wouldn't be too worried about it because I think that it's kind of just some fluky mistakes that they had. There was also this one where it's going to be it's a cover 2 zone play, and Stephon Diggs is running over the middle. And this is, it's going to be a very interesting play, I guess. So watch what happens as Diggs could potentially get open sort of deeper down the field. Josh Allen takes the snap, and you're going to notice Diggs running down the field. Allen makes the throw. It does have a cannon of an arm, and there appears to be some separation. But one of the things that the Steelers do just a great job of is in this zone coverage, they clog up those gaps very quickly. So sometimes you think something is open, and the next thing you know, someone runs over and knocks the ball away. Like you saw that a couple of times where a receiver had the ball in his hands, and then the ball just got knocked away because they can close those gaps so well. This is what the Steelers want to do, and it's a lot of, what they can do. And as you see, this was kind of a weird throw. I thought maybe Diggs could have tried to lay out for it, but there was really no separation once the ball got there. So sometimes you'll see separation before the ball gets there, but by the time the ball does get there, they close it up very well, which again, it's one of the things the Steelers defense does very well, in my opinion. And now we can go over to this one. We want to talk about pressure. We'll talk about pressure. Listen, people keep lying about things that I've said. I never said pass rush doesn't matter. I don't know why people keep saying that I said that, because I didn't. Pass rush does matter, and at times it can matter a good amount. Like on a 3rd down and 13, this is actually, if you're someone who is mad at me for saying that pass rush is overrated, this would be the play to bring up that pass rush does matter because it's a 3rd and 13, so you have to have a little bit longer than your average play that you have to get the ball down the field. Although I do want to mention, one of the things that I always talk about with pass rush is one of the issues with it is when you do create pressure, usually you need something else to happen. And for TJ Watt, who is going to get the sack here, he is going to get some help from his teammates, which that's what you have to do to get a sack, quite frankly. And that's okay because, they have they have a ton of good defensive linemen who can all come in and help make plays. Watch how right when this play starts. So Watt is getting beat right here. I mean, he just got beat off the edge. That's what happened. But Casey Hayward, who's really good, he is the one creating the pressure right here. So he's blowing this play up. At this point, Josh Allen really has no choice, but he has to figure something else out. It's 3rd and 13. You can't just, take the check down, which there is a check down open. On 1st and 10, that's what he'd do. But on a 3rd and 13, this is where pass rush becomes more important. So instead, he tries to scramble out, and that's when TJ Watt is able to run over and not just get the sack, but knock the ball out. So that's just a good teamwork play. And, again, TJ Watt had 2 sacks. Both of his were pretty similar to this one where he needed help. But that's not an insult to me because that's what you always need with pass rush. So yeah, that happened on a couple of plays actually. So I have no issue sitting here and saying that pass rush was a factor. To me, their elite coverage, and which is surprising to me. I thought that might not be a great situation for them, but their coverage was fantastic, and it really, it was the difference in this game, in my opinion. That's what allowed them to really shut down Buffalo, and that's not an easy passing offense to shut down, quite frankly. So, listen, people are still going to say I'm a TJ Watt hater, whatever. I thought that they played really well. It was complete defense on all facets of the ball. And again, like I said, who really cares what the actual reason for it was? At the end of the day, the Steelers have a good defense. You think that way. I think that way. For the Bills, I'm not too worried. They were going up against a good defense. And I think that they just they had some, uncharacteristic mistakes themselves. So I'm not willing to press the panic button yet for the Bills, but I am willing to sit here and say the Steelers might be better than I thought, and I had them as a playoff team. I was relatively high on them. So, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. That's not true. Most of the time, I love hearing from you. Let's be honest. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.